In a quiet African village, there lived a girl named Abeni. She was known for her gentle spirit and unyielding bravery. Her skin glowed like the warm earth, and her eyes sparkled with the joy of life. Despite the shadows that sometimes flickered in her heart, Abeni shared a deep bond with her mother, who had been her guiding star, filling her world with love and wisdom. But as the seasons turned, her mother's health began to fade like the light of a dying sun. One rainy evening, as the village lay cloaked in the soothing rhythm of raindrops, Abeni sat by her mother's side. The small hut they called home felt colder, filled with a heaviness that made it hard for Abeni to breathe. She held her mother's hand tightly, feeling the warmth slowly slip away. "Abeni," her mother whispered, her voice fragile like the wind rustling through leaves. "My time in this world is ending, but I have one last wish for you." Tears filled Abeni's eyes and she leaned closer, her heart pounding. "Please don't say that, Mama. You'll get better. You have to." Her mother smiled softly, brushing a lock of hair from Abeni's forehead. "You are strong, my child. Listen closely. Go to the heart of the forest. Seek what I left there. Fulfill my last wish." The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. Abeni felt a chill run down her spine. No one from their village dared venture into the forest, known to be filled with strange spirits and mysterious sounds. But her mother's wish felt sacred, igniting a flame of courage in her heart. As her mother closed her eyes for the last time, Abeni's world felt darker than ever before. She sat there, grief-stricken, until the first light of dawn broke through the clouds, illuminating her tear-streaked face. With a heavy heart but a determined spirit, Abeni made her promise to her mother to brave the unknown. With the sun rising, casting golden rays across the village, Abeni gathered a small bag, placing in it a few provisions, some dried fruit, a small knife, and her mother's old scarf, which still held the comforting scent of home. Clutching it tightly, she walked towards the edge of the forest, a place that had always been spoken of in hushed tones. It was a realm where shadows danced and the spirits were said to wander. As she stepped into the dense wood, Abeni was immediately enveloped in a world of green and brown. The air felt cool against her skin, and the towering trees stood like ancient giants, their branches whispering secrets to one another. Despite the air beauty, Abeni's heart raced with both fear and excitement. With each step, she could feel the forest come alive around her. Birds sang sweet melodies, their notes piercing the silence like tiny arrows of hope. But as the path grew darker and the trees closer together, Abeni recalled her mother's words. "Not everything is as it seems." She took a deep breath and pressed on, her heart leading the way. Hours passed, and as she wandered deeper into the forest, and soon Abeni noticed strange carvings on the trunk of the trees. Symbols glowed faintly, illuminating her path as if they were guiding her to her mother's wish. She reached out to touch one, feeling a warm energy ripple through her fingertips, igniting her hope. Could this be the forest helping me, she wondered, feeling her mother's presence close by, like a gentle hand on her shoulder. As she continued, the sounds of the forest changed. The melodic birdsong was replaced by the rustling of leaves and the distant gurgle of water. The deeper she ventured, the more she felt the forest wrap around her, cradling her in its embrace. Before long, Abeni stumbled upon a shimmering stream. The water sparkled as if filled with diamonds, and she could see her reflection staring back at her, wide-eyed and determined. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind. "Not everything is as it seems." Abeni understood that this moment was a test. a challenge to see if she was truly brave enough to continue her journey. Taking a deep breath, she cautiously dipped her foot into the cool water. It felt alive, rippling with energy. Suddenly, the stream shifted, revealing a hidden path on the other side, obscured by shadows. Abeni felt a surge of determination wash over her. This was her chance to prove her courage. Stepping carefully onto the stones that lined the bottom of the stream, Abeni crossed with a mix of excitement and trepidation. As she reached the other side, she turned back to admire the path she had just traversed, feeling proud of her bravery. I can do this, she whispered to herself, the thrill of adventure coursing through her veins. As dusk settled over the forest, painting the sky in hues of purple and orange, Abeni reached a small clearing. In the center stood a magnificent tree, its trunk thick and gnarled, with branches stretching towards the heavens. At its base lay a patch of wild herbs, but one stood out, a single golden herb, glowing softly in the fading light. Abeni felt her heart race. This had to be it, the precious thing her mother left behind. She knelt beside it, feeling an overwhelming warmth envelop her, as though her mother's spirit was there, guiding her hands toward the golden herb. Carefully, she plucked it from the ground, placing it gently in her bag. It felt alive, pulsing with energy. But just as she turned to leave, a strange rustling filled the air. A chill ran down Abeni's spine, and she sensed a shadow moving through the trees. The forest fell silent, the wind holding its breath, as if waiting for something monumental to happen. She froze, her heart pounding loudly in her chest. "Who is there?" she called out, her voice trembling but defiant. The shadows shifted, and for a moment she saw nothing but darkness. Then, from the depths of the shadows, a faint figure began to materialize. Abeni's breath caught in her throat as she squinted, trying to make sense of what she was seeing. The figure seemed to resemble a woman, her face gentle yet shrouded in mystery. Abeni's heart raced as she pondered whether this was her mother's spirit or perhaps a guardian of the forest secret. The figure reached out a hand, beckoning Abeni closer. "Come, my child," it whispered, the voice melodic and echoing like the wind through the trees. Abeni felt a strange pull toward the figure, a mix of wonder and fear battling within her. "What do you want?" Abeni asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The air was thick with magic and tension, the forest holding its breath as she stood on the premise of something extraordinary. The figure smiled, a radiant expression that filled Abeni with warmth. "You have come far, young one. Your heart is pure and your spirit is strong, but there are more secrets to uncover in the heart of the forest." Abeni stood face to face with the unknown, caught between the living and the spirit world. The shadows around her seemed to pulse with life, and she felt as if the forest was watching her every move. The figure continued to extend her hand, and for a moment, Abeni felt a surge of courage rising within her. But then doubt crept in. What if I'm not ready? What if I'm meant to turn back? The voice in her head whispered fears, but she knew she couldn't go back. Not now. Not when she had come this far for her mother. With a deep breath, Abeni stepped forward, her heart racing. "I am ready to learn. I want to fulfill my mother's wish." The figure nodded, the smile never leaving her face. "Then follow me. There is much to discover, and your journey is only just beginning." As Abeni reached out to take the figure's hand, a sudden gust of wind swept through the clearing, swirling leaves around them like a dance of spirits. The ground beneath Abeni's feet trembled as the shadows deepened. What lies ahead? Abeni wondered, excitement and fear intertwining within her. The forest felt alive, filled with whispers of ancient magic and untold stories waiting to be covered. And with that, the forest embraced her, welcoming her into its heart, ready to reveal its secret. What would Abeni find? What challenges awaited her? The answers lay ahead, shrouded in mystery and adventure. And so Abeni stands face to face with the unknown, with only her courage to guide her. What will she discover in the heart of the forest? What challenges will she face? And will she fulfill her mother's last wish? Join us in part 2, where Abeni's journey unfolds deeper into the mysteries that await her, revealing the power of love, courage, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. Thank you for listening to our story. Join us again in part 2. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel, Folktales by IJ, and leave us a comment.